When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/income.
Hey, it's John from GenXGrownUp, and we want your help to make this show even better. Go to GenXGrownUp.com/pod survey for a quick listener questionnaire. It only takes a few minutes and can make a huge impact on the show by telling us a bit about yourself, your listening habits, and your preferences. To show our appreciation for your time, we're giving away 2 $50 gift cards to lucky participants every single month during this campaign. So fire up that browser and head over to GenXGrownUp.com/pod survey right now to make your voice heard and for a chance to win.
Hi, this is Curl Bro, and I support GenXGrownUp on Patreon, and you should too. And if you don't, I hope you leave enough room for my fists, because I'm going to ram it in your stomach and break your spine. Just go to GenXGrownUp.com/Patreon to sign up today.
No life, no fun. Don't you know that you're a grown-up?
GenXGrownUp is a YouTube channel, website, and audio podcast you're listening to right now. All made for and by people who love exploring media, games, tech, and toys of yesterday and today through the eyes of Gen Xers who refuse to grow up.
Your dinner cannot just be French fries. Basically, life sucks as a grown-up.
Welcome back, GenXGrownUp podcast listener, to the Backtrack edition of the GenXGrownUp podcast. I am John. Joining me as always, my buddy Mo. Hey, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. You know it's not a show without George. Hey, George.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I see you gave Mo plenty of time to say his this time, as opposed to mine last time. You just ran right through me.
Yeah.
What's your point? Is there a question in there?
I'm just going to blame. I'm going to blame recording live in real time, which is what we're doing here at the Southern Fried Gaming Expo 2026. We're recording here at the Creator Corner, which is something that we've launched this year along in partnership with SFGE, where we have microphones and an audio board, and other creators can sit down and record their own show live in front of a beautiful SFGE backdrop, a step and repeat thing you got behind us. And you're just getting the show started. Recording this on Friday. The show is just about to open, not yet opened.
Right.
We had to get in our recording before folks who have reserved time at this area to do their panel. This episode, though, and you talked to a little bit, George, last time on the show, what we're doing. In this Backtrack, we are turning the TV dial back 40 years to 1986.
Yeah.
It was a year filled with unforgettable families, workplace comedies, crime-solving favorites, and some of the decade's most enduring characters. But which shows drew the biggest audiences? We're counting down the 10 highest-rated series of 1986. And we were talking a little bit before we pushed record that we don't all remember all of these shows really well, but it seems that George, the youngest of us, remembers them the best.
Yeah, oddly enough, you wouldn't think so, but especially given the list that's here.
Right. They're not kid shows, right?
Not all of them,
You're always glued to TV, you said.
I was always glued to the television, TV and movies were my thing growing up. I love that whole thing. I mean, that's why video games. I always wanted video games that were as close to a TV show that I could control as possible.
Right. Yeah. And so, Mo, you would have been out of high school by then?
I was in college. My first year
in college by then, 86,
yeah.
right?
So that's why probably, like, a lot of the memories I have are probably from the previous year of these same shows.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, me too. Me too, probably. Yeah.
So, like, if any of these shows was new that year, that's probably why I'm not that familiar with them.
Right.
Yeah, and I would have been a junior in high school in 86. So I was 17. Like you said, you were watching a lot when you were a kid. I was just kind of getting out of kid stuff, and I had extracurriculars, and maybe that's why. That's not true of all of them.
I mean, I wasn't kid. I was 15.
Certainly. Right. Yep. Yep. Certainly, not all of them. Some of them definitely have, but I will disclose the ones that I have very little knowledge of.
Me too.
And we will talk about those. Before we do that, though, it's time for the fourth listener email. That is, look, the three of us are here. A lot more than three of us are here. Folks are coming in and out watching the show being recorded this time. But if you're also listening, you are our fourth listener. Fourth listener for this episode is Blocky Dad, who dropped us line over on Discord about our Masters of the Universe.
Nice.
The new movie that came out recently.
Yes.
We talked about it, right? So he said, and we talked about our thoughts of it. Blocky Dad says, in answer to the question in the latest podcast about who is the target audience who would come back a second time to see this, it's late Gen Xers and probably only us.
Yeah,
He
probably.
posits. He says, which isn't a recipe for box office success, but I digress. I'm on the record that I came to like the movie because of its dumber elements, because they were largely evocative of the cartoon, which I couldn't imagine a broader audience resonating with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know when we talked about this on the show, you guys weren't, I think, as happy with the movie.
We had quibbles with it. We had fun, but
I
yeah.
got to watch
fun,
it
but-
afterwards, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was just, yeah. I had some quibbles, I think.
There's the quibbles.
I
Yeah.
didn't need, like, it seemed like you guys needed the dark Masters of the Universe. I didn't need that because that's not what the comic book
no, I
original
didn't need
series
dark.
were.
Yeah, it was less toilet humor, maybe less driving home
I was
silly
okay
jokes.
with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, silly jokes were what made the cartoon back then. You guys were just too old.
Maybe
all.
that's
Okay.
it. That could be it.
Well, Blocky Dad wraps it up by saying, as an aside, I agree with Mo of GenXGrownUp's criticism about the Fisto jokes.
Look at that. Well, now me and
Look
Blocky
at
Dad are
that.
friends.
Thank you.
He said, I let out an audible, oh, come on, after the 57th Fisto joke. They really went there.
Yeah.
They did do that. There's no denying
They
that there
beat
was
the joke to death.
there was they rode that joke hard.
Yeah, they wrote it hard and left it.
I didn't mean it like that, George.
Yeah, okay.
See?
Quit hitting me.
You clearly
we
like the-
established in the last podcast for you to stop hitting me.
No, you said it. We didn't establish it. Blocky Dad, thank you for listening to that episode and hitting us up over on Discord. Let us know what you thought of that episode and your thoughts on Masters of the Universe. Fourth listener, if you want your email featured here on the show, it's drop dead easy. Just hit us up at podcast@genxgrownup.com. We read every single email. And most of them, like Blocky Dad's, will eventually make the show. Okay. With that good business in the rearview mirror, it's time to jump into this backtrack all about the highest rated shows of 1986 right after this very quick break.
Late night bites with friends? Already hard to beat. That first too hot bite of fries you couldn't wait for, followed by ice cold Pepsi. Now that hits different. Suddenly, the energy kicks back in, the night goes longer, and the laughs don't stop. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
You're listening to Gen X Grown Up. But if you have a friend who's not yet listening, why not? Tell them about us. They'll thank you later.
Tonight, what does Allie propose to do about Jenny's proposition?
Don't rush me. I'm not Dr. Ruth.
Kate and Allie. Then,
Rate your mate.
what would we do without little sisters?
You don't have a mate.
My sister Sam. And on Newhart, will Stephanie survive? Without Michael?
I'm a desperate woman. I vacuumed under a bed.
Then, the awful odds on marriage.
According to this, your age group has a better chance of being killed by a terrorist.
Designing Women, tonight on CBS.
It's time to get rolling talking about the highest rated shows of 1986. And, unlike movies, you have the box office you can clearly go to.
Right.
Television has its own kind of metric, and whenever we're trying to make a list like this, we turn to the spreadsheet expert, and that's George. So how did you arrive at this list of 10 shows?
AI.
Okay.
All right.
Great. No need for us anymore.
We're done. Let's do it.
No, I mean, so did a lot of research, found a lot of stuff through Wikipedia, of course, and through some other Nielsen sites, because that's what the easiest metric was to go back and find.
Right.
It's not always easy to find numbers on TV shows from 40 years ago, because it's not like there was computer systems and an internet that were disseminating all that information. It was all lock and key, a lot of things, at the studios themselves within the industry. So sometimes it can be hard to find, but Nielsen ratings seem to be publicly accessible for the most part.
Yeah, that's how TV stations make their money, because the higher the rating, the more you can charge for advertising.
Yeah.
So that's important information to have at the ground level at local stations. So yeah, we do have this list of the top 10 rated series, and each of them we'll talk about the episode or talk about the series, and we'll give you a number. The number that number is what we call a ratings, a household ratings number for the 86-87 television season. The ratings number is the number of each point, basically, like if someone has 10 points, it is basically 1% of all U.S. television households, including people who weren't watching TV.
Right, because Nielsen, I don't know if either of you guys have been a Nielsen family in any shape.
Never
We
have.
have been for a few years. And Nielsen, what they did back then and still do even today, they send you out a booklet with a whole
Like a
bunch of
log.
crisp $1 bills in it.
Yep.
And you log down what you're watching. It's all on the honor system, of course.
Yeah.
But that's how they get their ratings. You send those logs back. Nowadays, you can even type them into a website, I think, of the last one I did. But
Didn't they actually have a box at some point?
They did have a box for a while. They did. Yeah. So a rating, household rating, doesn't matter if you're watching TV or not. It's how many. So if you hear a rating that's like 25, that means 25% of households with TVs, whether it was on or not, were watching this show.
Well,
and you don't get those things these days.
25% of 1%, because it represents 1% of the population.
Oh, right, yeah.
Now, the other thing you're going to get is share. And a share measures percentage of people who are watching TV.
Right.
So we're talking about ratings. And you're not going to see these kind of ratings 40 years later because there's so much other kinds of media for people to watch.
They don't need it now. Now they got Netflix ratings.
Yeah. Well, Netflix doesn't share. So
no.
All right. So why don't we get started with the number 10 on our top 10 list of top-rated TV shows from '86? Well, why don't you kick us off?
Sure. Yep. Coming in at number 10 is Who's the Boss with a rating of 22. It was on ABC. And this was an interesting show because it was all about like kind of the whole gender flip of roles.
A little bit,
especially back in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know?
Like a Mr. Mommy kind of thing. Yeah.
It's Tony Danza, I think, is his first thing after Taxi that he came up with. And he plays a retired baseball player who gets hired basically as a nanny.
Right.
For a very successful but career-minded single mom.
Yep.
He comes in, he has a daughter who's played by Alyssa Milano, who I think a lot of people had crushes on back then.
Oh, yeah.
It was all funny, a lot of very sitcom-y, slapstickish kind of humor, but there's also like this whole like tension between Danza and the mom that went on for a long time about like they had attraction to each other, they liked each other, but they never really did anything about it for season after season.
Not to ruin the list later on, but there was a Sam and Diane kind of dynamic going on.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The show went on from 84 to 92, so it had a good run. Absolutely. And I have to say that a lot of these shows that, if it came out 86, I didn't know that much about it. But, like, again, these shows that came out, like, before that, like, in the 84 time frame, or then the ones I'm probably more familiar with, because, again, at the time, it'd be tough.
It is one I said we'd always disclose, and I disclosed. It wasn't one I watched a lot, but it was post-Taxi, which I did watch a lot. Tony Danza on there, and he was really the attraction for me.
Yeah.
Was just, I mean, Alyssa Milano, but I mean the star who was
the big
attracting
name
me
there.
there.
He was a big name.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see him do something that was very much against what he had done in Taxi. He didn't get super typecast and just be that character again that you see a lot when people, you get the Joey who's like, we'll spin you off and do Joey again kind of thing from Friends. He did something very different and unique, and I that's what brought me to it usually, was to see Tony Danza doing something different. So moving on then from number 10, we go into the next one of this segment, number 9. And George, why don't you get us in there?
Yeah, number 9 comes to us from ABC with a 22.4. That 0.4 is what moved him up number 9.
Yep.
Moonlighting.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce Willis, Sybil Shepherd.
Sybil
right?
Shepherd.
Yeah.
I mean, this was the show that really introduced Willis to the national audience, obviously.
Yeah.
It's what bought him his movie career, which has its ups and downs and goods and bads and whatnot, as we know.
He would do anything.
Yeah.
He would do anything.
It reintroduced Sybil Shepherd back to TV audiences. She'd been off for like 7-8 years, something like that.
Was she a soap opera person? Or?
She was back and forth. She's modeling and everything, which oddly enough was part of the character. That's how the agency got its name. They became the Blue Moon Detective Agency because she did an advertising campaign that made her famous as a model for Blue Moon shampoo in the character, not Sybil Shepherd. They had, I think it was 4 or 5 seasons that they had of this thing. What I remember the most about it, besides all the crazy, like there was episodes that they did song and dance routines, and there was all the, like, they did a
So they had like the novelty episodes?
They had the novelty episodes.
That's cool.
They did a Shakespeare in the Park because the original showrunner got the idea for Moonlighting when he saw Shakespeare in the Park at one point, and that's what gave him the idea to do this. But for me, it was... because I was a fan of Revenge of the Nerds, seeing Booger on a TV series was really fun. And he played this character that he got hired like as just a lackey kind of guy at the agency, but he ended up falling in love with the receptionist who was quirky lady type of thing. And they ended up getting married in the last episode of the series,
really?
which was really nice in a good way. Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis, their characters did the Sam and Diane thing as well.
Yeah, right.
But they ended up not getting together. She got married to another character in the series, I think around season 3 or 4, something like that. But it was a solid series.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And it did really well with middle America and 35 and up audiences because they liked the stories because they were always mysteries. And we have a couple of mysteries in this list this time. And I think this was one of the more humorous mystery series out there.
You know, a funny thing about this show is that, in the contract, Sybil Shepherd can only be shot with a soft filter.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, makes sense.
So was she an aging actor? Would you consider her an aging actress at that point?
Yeah. So she only be shot with a soft filter. So
Really?
every shot of her is, and then you do the next scene, it'd be clear.
Yeah. Funny.
So-
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
But she was a big name, so she could demand that kind of stuff.
You know what's really interesting to me hearing, it's clear that, George, you watched this show.
I did watch
You
the
did
show.
watch this show. And it was a show I didn't watch, but I always heard people talking about it. Did you watch? It was that water cooler thing that people would, the next day you would, whatever water cooler is in school, whatever you call that, but, around the playground or, people talking about it. Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? And I never heard anybody talk about why it was so good to them. And so now, having, known about those things, it's enlightened me, I guess. what it is about moonlighting. So I didn't know. Okay, well, I guess I'll move around to the next one, which is number 8. And this is just luck of the draw. This is one I really didn't know well, but boy, I know it's popular with a lot of people. This is on ABC, a 22.7 rating, Growing Pains. Yeah. Now, this was around the Seaver family.
Yes.
Right? And so the Alan Thicke was the
Alan
patriarch of the
Thicke.
family. He was a work-from-home psychiatrist.
Yes, he was.
And his wife had
That's
gone
what
back to
Patience
work.
coming to.
Yeah, right. His wife had just, I guess, gone back to work as a reporter.
Right.
And it was the family dynamic with their kids. Kirk Cameron was one of the kids in that, and he was kind of a troublemaker, I guess, is my understanding.
Yeah, which is interesting because the actor
Kirk
later
Cameron
on
is not a
he
troublemaker.
he became like this devout Christian actor
Yep.
and did a Left Behind series. So
Yep. And they kind of had the archetypes, the troublemaker, and then you had the bookworm daughter, the girl Carol, so you kind of what are the archetypal sort of kids that you could have and round this out. It reminds me of a lot of 80s sitcoms where they're like, we need to get each one of these types of kids that you can have.
Yeah.
Gap by about
Gaber.
a year or two,
Right.
and watch them grow up.
Well, I mean, the other two kids, we had Tracy Gold, who she didn't do a lot after the series, but she did a couple of things, and then Jeremy Miller, of course, the youngest son. But this show is most noteworthy, not for the stuff we've already talked about, but introducing Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's right.
Somebody's boyfriend. Wasn't he somebody's
came in-
boyfriend?
he was like this kid who was stealing shit.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
brought him into the household to help him get better.
Okay, it wasn't somebody's
essentially.
boyfriend.
No,
not
not
He almost
really.
made the next kid, like a new
Yeah,
kid.
he was kind of like an adopted.
Oh,
kid
they brought
type
him.
of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like a stray.
Yeah.
They brought in.
The boyfriend kind of thing is we've got a show later on.
Okay, maybe that's
that
what I was
happened
thinking.
on.
I told you
But
I'm not that familiar with this one.
But yeah, Leo DiCaprio, this is where he really got his big breakout start.
And he was a rapscallion.
He was and it was interesting because when you saw him as a young person, he really looked the type. Like, he did not look like the other Seavers. They were all looked like they wore makeup 24/7.
Like buttoned up.
Yeah. He didn't look that way at all.
Did he already have like a flop of mop of hair on top of his head?
Scraggly, exactly.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it. Okay, that'll get us going on the top 10. Now, when we get back from this break, we're going to jump into the next 3 on the list, 7, 6, and 5. And I should mention that we do have some honorable mentions. So just because you don't hear your favorite show here in this top 10, we might be talking about it. So
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't my fault. If you didn't watch
their
it back
numbers.
then, it didn't make the
Yeah,
numbers.
it
That's
did.
not
if
my
you
fault.
didn't watch it, didn't make the list, you can't blame us.
Late night bites with friends? Already hard to beat. That first too hot bite of fries you couldn't wait for, followed by ice cold Pepsi. Now that hits different. Suddenly, the energy kicks back in, the night goes longer, and the laughs don't stop. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
Mommy. A Lego Duplo set is a gift that always clicks. And clicks. And clicks. For all the kids who love to stack and play, choose a Lego Duplo set. A gift that always clicks.
Be sure to subscribe to or follow Gen X Grown Up wherever you listen. And while you're there, rate and review the show too. It helps more than you know.
Thursday. Magnum's out to stop a carnival killer before he sticks it to Rick. Then Simon and Simon return to summer camp. But will a cute counselor tell them to take a hike? And on Knots Landing.
I know those babies are mine.
What am I gonna do?
I am gonna put an end to it.
Thursday.
Okay, it's time to get into the meat of the list, 7, 6, and 5. Up first is going to be John with a show that I actually know you watched.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I did.
Me too.
Yeah. Interestingly, I didn't watch it as much first run. I watched it more in its second run.
Really?
I watched it some in its old run. We're talking about Night Court. NBC got a 23.2 household rating. So moving on up this list of things, not to be confused with moving on up as a Jefferson.
That's a different year.
Different
That's 50 years
different
ago.
year, right. So this premiered 1984, so it was just hitting its stride. You know, a lot of shows, if they're going to live for many seasons, that third season is when they've shaken out all the cobwebs and they're really cooking. Judge Harry Stone. Right, Harry Anderson. He was the most wonderfully unorthodox judge. So the premise is it's court, but it's the night court. So all of the weirdest things happen throughout the course of an evening, a run of this episode. And each episode, I think, was pretty much like one night stuff. You had the scandalous prosecutor. You had was it Marky Post was the great defender.
Season 3 on Marky
Post. They moved through.
We had a lady, I can't remember her name, but it was a different lady playing the prosecutor in seasons 1, maybe 2.
And you got, even though it was a courtroom, what Harry's thing was, he was a magician, which Harry Anderson was also, but I mean his character was a magician. He would sometimes play into, he would bring levity into the courtroom using his magic sometimes. But more important than the magic or the levity is that he was, like I mentioned, unorthodox. He would always have this compassion of like, okay, these aren't, just because you're here in court doesn't mean you're bad. I'm not looking to punish you. I'm looking to find this creative solution to help you in your life.
Yeah. Yep.
And often people came in the courtroom down on their luck, or they were arguably bad people sometimes, but he would find creative ways to dole out corrective measures that would be amusing.
Right.
And again, a little bit heartfelt, a little bit warm, fuzzy. For something you would think is so cold as like a courtroom overnight could be so drab. This was one of the most touching shows. And then you had the ensemble piece of the actors who together formed this kind of like dysfunctional family that kind of cared for each other, even though they were doing their roles.
I mean, you had a lot of great actors and actresses coming out of this thing too. You mentioned Marky Post, John Larroquette, obviously,
John Larroquette.
on the prosecution side. But then you also had, I think it was Thelma or Selma Diamond. We lost her in season 2.
Yeah,
she got replaced. Richard Mall as the assistant bailiff.
Yeah, Bull.
Right, that really became a vehicle for him later on, and he did some horror movies and stuff after that. I enjoyed this show because it was one that I could watch with my parents because they enjoyed it. You know, Dad started watching it because it was a crime drama kind of show, and it obviously
sort
was
of
not.
Not really, but yeah.
But I think the most notable person that came out of this series that ended up a favorite of John and mine later on, Brent Spiner.
Brent Spiner,
right?
A recurring role.
A recurring character. He played this like doofus kind of country hillbilly character that kept getting involved in bad situations and having to go to court.
Yeah.
And his family was there sometimes. It was fun.
That's what got me to watch it more in reruns, looking for those episodes.
Right.
And then it reminded me how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Let me say, the thing I liked about this show, though, is like, one, it got better pretty much as the seasons went on.
Yeah.
Because the characters got a lot of depth. Like John Larroquette's character, the first season, he was like this womanizer, crude, blah blah blah. But then as you get into it, I remember one episode in particular where he gets offered this really high paying job.
Yeah.
And they only want to hire him because she's attracted to him.
Right.
Yeah.
And he goes into his long speech about, he says, I went to a crappy house, but my record is I have the fewest overturned prosecutions. I have this and and you start realizing, wow, this guy actually cares about his job. Like he actually cares about what he's doing. And it is also, had the benefit of being that Thursday night lineup.
It was.
Show.
Okay, yeah.
Because, and people, I've read a couple of things, they said that if this wasn't a Thursday night lineup, it might not have survived the first season.
Sure.
Because pretty much they gave a lot of, like, those shows just got a lot of attention right off the bat, got a lot of audience, and they were able to kind of mature the show and tweak it and make it better.
It ran for 9 seasons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
9 seasons. I was just coincidentally, when I was looking up information about it, the creator, Reinhold Weege, worked on Barney Miller, one of our favorite shows.
Oh,
wow.
love Barney Miller.
Yeah.
And when they did the revamp of this show recently,
I was going to talk about that.
Yeah, he's back in it again.
Yeah, as the defender.
Right.
Yes.
Not the prosecutor, which was a wonderful twist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that was Night Court. Mo, why don't you move us on to, it's a show, but a different kind of show.
Yeah, it's odd that it'd be this, but it's been there you go. It's been on since 1969, I think, but it's 60 Minutes, which had a rating of 23.3, so 0.1 more than Night Court. This show, I remember quite a bit because my dad, avid watcher of this show. It came on after football. It's one of those shows that even after football they would not shorten it.
Yeah,
they would
still you get the whole
from
thing.
The beginning.
Yeah,
and my dad loved it because he said it was like they would do a whole story, complete, rather than these short news bites. It was like a complete in-depth interview.
It was always Sundays, right?
Always Sundays.
Yeah.
Always Sunday nights. And again, the iconic stopwatch. Going on. Yeah, and we watched. My dad, like I said, he watched the show religiously, and I wound up watching it with him. And learning a lot about current events apparently.
Right.
Without knowing this. And back then, also talk about modern stuff, but back then it was also known for its integrity, quite honestly.
Yeah.
They went after a lot of deep stories.
Yeah.
They went after a lot of things that were not popular, and they really confronted people and really asked them, got some truth out of folks.
I tell you, it was a type of journalism that you didn't get as much in local news. First, the more in depth, as you mentioned, but also it wasn't. They did dig in and they did work hard to get the story, but it wasn't gotcha journalism.
No.
It wasn't necessarily chasing you down outside the courthouse trying to get information.
Right.
They got the interview, they sat down, and they spoke for hours to get deep information about a story or something that befell someone or whatever.
For me, it was always my father's news program because it had been on, like you said, since '69, right? So that whole different generation grew up with this thing, and I think it kind of felt like if Walter Cronkite created his own news show.
Sure, I see that.
This is what it would have been, and since he was so trusted, I think that's why the show was also that way. Now, I know you mentioned the modern stuff. We just had one of the guys, he quit in protest because of what was going on. He got fired because he wouldn't do something, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's a terrible representation of how we have completely messed up our fourth whatever it's called, fourth state thing.
We can do better.
We can do better.
And we have.
Yeah.
And 60 Minutes did for years.
Yeah, you talk about people like Mike Wallace, Diane
Morley
Sawyer,
Safer.
Morley Safer,
How do you remember those names, right?
Yeah, it's true.
It's just because they announced them at the start of every show. They were just burned in your brain.
And
Who
you have them
remembers
sitting in
Morley
front
Safer?
of like the big open book on the, like a director's chair
Right.
sitting there. And it wasn't like breaking news or whatever. It was like, so in the heartland of America, such and such was going on. But and you were like, it's entertainment journalism.
Yeah, it was.
In the best possible sense.
But in that stopwatch, which often makes you think of, like, I got to get this thing done really fast, for some reason, for me, it felt like a soothing sound. Like, it calmed me down when I would hear it coming on, because it felt like the show was, I don't know, talk about it being researched and in-depth, but slow paced. Like, they didn't rush anything. Even though they got,
deliberate.
like, 3 to 5 stories in a 60-minute time span. Everything was... Like, maybe they did less commercials. I don't know.
I know. They gave everything a lot of time to really get through a story.
Yep. All right. Mo, that was 60 Minutes.
Yes.
George, why don't we move into the number 5 slot, which is going to be the halfway point of the top 10.
Yeah, if we threw a party and invited everyone we knew, biggest gift would be from me, because you're a friend and a confidant. This is the Golden Girls, ladies and gentlemen. NBC, 24.5 Nielsen rating. This is the show that launched 4 old women into the stratosphere of celebrity fandom.
Just saying, they were younger than us when they were old women.
Golden Girls, ladies and gentlemen. Not the Golden Ladies, not the Golden Women. B. Arthur, Rue McClanahan,
Betty White.
Betty White, of course. Oh my God, Betty White. Jesus Christ, what a national treasure. Damn, fucking A. And then what was the lady who was actually younger than B. Arthur but played her mother? I can never remember her name. She was in the Don't Stop Her, My Mom Will Shoot Sylvester Stallone movie. Anyway.
Her, yes.
Yeah.
The 4th one.
Super fun series. That series, I watched it all the time with my mother. Obviously, that's a mom show. She loved that thing. That was kind of like her new Carol Burnett or Andy Griffith. It was in that same vein of wholesome, good comedy. The girls were always getting into trouble based on their different personalities. They had different people at different times of the series even living with them. They started off with like a helper guy that was with them, and we eventually got big celebrity stars that came out of this, like George Clooney, of course, right?
Well, it was already big in its time, and people wanted to be on that show.
Right, because it was such a popular vehicle, and we got a lot of good episodes, and now we got hands raised in the audience over here. What's going on?
Yes. Estelle Getty.
Getty.
Thank
There
you.
we go. Wow.
The benefit of a
nice.
live studio audience.
Right, there we go. Don't have to look up AI for that. I still have a very fond spot in my heart for this, so much so that when my wife was going through all of her therapy appointments, when we would get there, because we always went super early in the morning, whatever TV station that they had it set to, it was playing Golden Girl reruns.
Really?
And my wife had never seen the show. She
Okay.
comes from the Philippines. It wasn't a popular show over there. So she would sit and watch it. And at first she didn't understand. But then as she started to watch them every appointment that we went back, she started to understand the characters and the storylines and how the timing was for the comedy. And I would just see her just smiling and laughing at this series.
Sure.
That's because the Golden Girls made everybody smile.
Yeah.
It was a well-written sitcom, and
With
a true
amazing
sitcom.
talent.
It was a situational
Oh, yeah,
comedy
absolutely.
that was built. It was character-driven.
Yeah.
It wasn't slapstick. It was one-liners and zingers.
And you had to know the characters to get the jokes.
And
even.
yes, and
Sure.
riffing back and forth, and
some heartstring tugging.
Oh
at
sure,
different
absolutely.
points.
oh sure,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So and again, just the level of quality of the cast. Like I said,
Oh,
yeah.
I know we get big movie celebrities doing TV shows these days or streaming shows because they can afford to pay them. But think about the level of talent that they got for this show.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 to 7 people on every single episode, and all of them were
Stars in their own right.
super
Yeah,
talented.
yeah,
From
yeah.
a bygone era, doing modern comedy to an audience that didn't even know who they were sometimes. Who the hell knew who B. Arthur was at 13?
Yeah.
Nobody at 13
Well, I
knew
knew she was Maude.
Yeah,
Right.
Maud.
But you weren't 13 when this show came
No,
out.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So,
Golden Girls. Okay, so that gets us halfway through.
All right.
So we're gonna we get back from this quick break as we record here live at SFGE 2026. We're gonna jump into number 4 and talk about the top end. Each episode of Gen X Grown Up has show notes loaded with links where you can learn more about our topics. And there's even more to see and hear over at GenXGrownUp.com.
Friday, Knight Rider heads back to Friday night, and everybody's out to get him.
I'll take my chances, pal.
Then on an all-new Last Precinct, ghouls the room and a sucker burgles the blood supply.
This is one nutty precinct.
And on a sizzling new Miami Vice, Crockett and Tubbs are on a deadly manhunt.
Shoot him. Friday. This is the NBC Television Network.
So we're now getting to the bottom half. So these are the super popular shows that were on back in 1986. So John, why don't you kick us off? What was number 4?
Yeah, and we'll talk about the number 4 show on CBS, a 25.4 household rating. That means a quarter of the households that had TVs were watching Jessica Fletcher visit your house, visit your town, and if somebody hadn't died, they were fixing to in Murder, She Wrote. Death seemed to follow this author. So it was Angela Lansbury, and she played the voice of the cup in the
Beauty
teapot,
Beast.
the
Beauty
teapot
Beast.
in Beauty and the Beast, right? That's what I know her as most.
Mrs. Potts.
Mrs. Potts. There you go. And she's an author. She's a crime writer.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, she knew everybody in every little town. And when there was a crime or there was about to be a crime, somehow she always ended up in a place. So she wrote about murders. Murder, She Wrote. That's what it was about. But then she was kind of this armchair detective that wasn't supposed to be a detective at all. Ended up trying to solve the crime that was in the town. And it was very much unlike the Golden Girls we just talked about, where it was this solid core cast of people that carried the show. It was really Angela Lansbury and a couple of regulars. She was the one that carried the show. It was like the Incredible Hulk. She went to a new town every episode with a new collection of cast, like a Love Boat kind of thing. You brought in another kind of another ensemble of people to create this thing. And it's like a Matlock for me.
Yeah.
I wanna watch to see her do the thing that she does so well, and she's kind of an unassuming, like a Columbo.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a writer. I'm just asking some questions, but she knows what she's doing because she knows how to structure murders in her books. So she's a great crime solver.
It's one of those things. Again, this is one of my mother's favorite TV series.
Another one, yeah.
She still watches it today. She finds reruns
Why
to
not?
watch because she loved and Jessica Fletcher, Angela Lansbury, the whole thing. It's one of her favorites. I watched it with her. I will say it wasn't my favorite of the shows I watched with her.
It wasn't my cup of tea, but
Right, but I can understand why it got a 25.4 rating. I mean, it earned it, and it was on for a lot of seasons.
12 seasons,
Right?
And 4 movies.
Four movies, right?
4 made-for-TV movies.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a successful show.
It is a successful show, yeah. And I think it's because you had showrunners that would put together a different show each time. And for me, I liked it more than like a Growing Pains or something. You know, you said it wasn't your favorite thing,
Right,
but
yeah.
I actually like it because it's the crime solving and it's very Matlocky. You know, in a way before Matlock, I guess. So.
Yeah.
All right, Mo, why don't you move us along to number 3?
Oh, I mean, number 3, everyone's going to know this one. This actually, I think, probably slipped a couple ranks this year. It probably was higher, I bet you, in previous years.
Okay.
But the show is Cheers. NBC, again, part of that part of that Thursday night lineup again, had a 27.2, so really had a lot of TVs tuned to it.
Yep.
Of course, everyone knows, Bar, Boston, Jack and Diane. Sorry.
Sam and Diane. Jack and Diane's a whole different song.
Jack and Diane's a song. Sam and Diane.
Frasier.
But 80s. Frasier was a kickoff from this one.
And who also got their start that was already on this list?
Who's already on this list?
Yep, we already talked about him. Harry Anderson is the grifter.
Oh, that's right. He's the grifter on it.
Oh, was he?
Yes.
He comes on the show. Yeah,
okay.
to con people.
I don't remember.
You're
I don't remember.
Harry Anderson guy. Come on.
Yeah, I didn't know he started there.
Yeah, that's where he
great.
got to start.
Yep. Talk about great writing. I mean, great
Oh,
writing.
man, yeah.
Just funny show. Almost all of it takes place in the bar. Like they sometimes venture out, but rarely.
Once in a while, pretty rare. Yeah.
And if you can get a show that character based, you can just do it.
They did have a couple of sets. They had the bar, then they had like the dining room, and then they had the office.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
But
So they had a few places they could work.
But it was all within.
It was all within that one business.
And I mean, the first season, Woody Harrelson eventually comes into the show.
Oh man,
season
2
3
or 3?
I think 3 because Coach dies.
The character.
But you had to love Coach. This show had so much heart. I remember the very first episode when Diane walks in before she gets the job.
Yep.
Coach was talking about like he got hit the most by baseballs in the career or something like that. He gives her a ball. Try to miss me.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm gonna throw it away from him. And Sam's like, that's the idea. And then she throws it and he dives or something. And she's like, oh my God. He's like, wow, I really had to dive to get that one. But again, it was just like so much heart and so much. You cared about the characters.
And the Coach and Woody wasn't the only character turnover. Obviously, Diane left the show, which was huge news when she walked out. They really didn't think the series was going to survive that. They bring in Kirstie Alley.
Yeah.
Now, I think they made the mistake in trying to essentially recreate the exact same dynamic.
The dynamic
the same
similarly,
romantic thing. Yeah.
And then we did get Diane come back in the last season.
Yes.
Like she came back in for a couple episodes.
Yeah.
They were winding
got to wind up that
yeah.
relationship that we left hanging. Yeah.
But I did appreciate. So, of course, Woody Harrelson, his character became him. He was that character.
Yeah.
There was even an interview that I watched a year ago where he was talking about how high he was before he got brought down to set one time and he completely forgot his lines and everything. And they're like, that's fine, that's your character.
Yeah.
So,
he was a ditz. I think what I liked most about it, and still do, frankly, is, and it's in the theme song. You want to be where everybody knows your name. Fewer themes really explain what it is that's special about it. You had Norm, and you had the mailman, and you had all these guys. Like, they had their spot. You knew what the kind of things they were going to say, the kind of quips they were going to do, and they all had their lives they were living outside of the bar, and they came there as a respite to be with people that accepted them.
Yeah.
I guess that's why a lot of people escape to the bar, because they can escape their families or the troubles of work or whatever. But these guys weren't there just to get hammered. They were there because this was this maid family that always accepted them or tried to help them in a way that maybe they struggled with outside of it.
Yeah. My dad used to always say is like, a friend is somebody who knows all your faults but likes you anyway.
Likes you anyway, sure.
And and that's the thing is like everyone was flawed characters. Every single person in there. Ted, he was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And it ruined his baseball career. Because of that. They said they all had their flaws, but everyone knew what the flaws were and they didn't care.
Well, and you had, I like the fact that you had the two puppets in the balcony. You had John Ratzenberger and George Wendt, right, as kind of the curmudgeon and dummy kind of thing, but they were so clever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both actors played those roles so well.
They weren't heckling mean-spiritedly.
No.
No.
And it was...
They were observationally.
It was like I said, the word clever, especially to the George Wendt character, Norm. I mean, every time he walks in the bar, he gets that introduction that everybody knows, and he always got the different one-liner.
Yes.
And I watched something that showed that a lot of times he would just ad-lib those. Now, not all the time they were written, but a lot of times he was just ad-libbing.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is true, but God, it's one of those stories I don't want to look up because I want it to be true. Is that Cliff Clavin, he came in as that character for his audition.
Oh.
I'd heard that too.
Yeah, and
it might have been
character.
on that Icons on Earth episode. Maybe I heard that.
Yeah.
So
he made that
I'm hoping it's true.
up, and was in character. And they're like, yeah, we need this guy because he said, I want somebody who the know-it-all.
He's the know-it-all, right?
Yep. So again, great show, and except when they finally Sam and Dan got together, the next scene everyone's pissed off.
Yeah, that's the jump the shark moment.
That's the jump the shark. Yeah.
8 seasons. Was that no? How long did that run?
9
seasons.
It's like 8 or 9. Yeah, it was on for a while.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with the will they won't they, is if you finally will they?
Tension,
Well, then you lose that tension, that wonder, that intrigue. Yeah.
It's usually when TV shows added a baby.
Yeah. Add a baby. Or get married.
Or something like that. All right.
Yeah. All right. We are up to number 2, George. We're almost there.
So I get the pleasure of talking about the series that was an ensemble piece that really ended up being a vehicle for one actor only. The great MJF. I'm not talking about MJF, the wrestler that's modern equivalent today. I'm talking about Michael J. Fox, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Family Ties, NBC.
Wow.
We left the 20s behind. We're at 34.9 on the Nielsen rating now, for good reason. This was absolutely the best of the family situation comedies of the 80s. I don't care. I will die on that hill. Fight me now.
No, great show. I'm not going to argue.
I punched you.
You didn't punch me. I'm ready. We're ready to go.
He put up hands. You can't see it. He put up hands.
This series had everything that one of those family. It kind of became the model for these series for years to come later on, right? You got the Full Houses. You got the Growing Pains.
Yep.
They all owe a debt to Family Ties, in my
but they
opinion.
didn't do as good a job.
They didn't. That's my point. They owe
They
a debt,
didn't.
but they did not improve upon the original. I think you're looking at I still remember this day. There was an episode where Michael J. Fox character, he's in college or going to college, I can't remember which. He's trying to woo the woman that he wants to marry, who later became that actor's wife in real life. And they're playing the Billy Vera and the Beaters song on the thing. And that song, because of this TV show, which had been released 3 years earlier, became number 1 because of Family Ties.
Because it got a bump. Got a bump. It's like that Stranger Things and that song that hit the Billboard.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I watched plenty of Family Ties. Of course, it has the great Back to the Future connection where you thought he wouldn't be able to be, and they made it work with some crazy convoluted.
He was doing a couple of
shuttling
things
people around. Yeah, a lot of
There
stuff.
were 2
It was
movies he
ridiculous.
doing,
But the premise that they're basically these love children that came out of the 60s.
Yeah.
You know, these free love and super liberal, and they have this son who is super hyper conservative.
Yes.
And what I like
he's
now
a Reagan
about
Republican,
basically.
Yeah.
What I like about watching this series is it shows like, look, here are people that can fundamentally disagree about things and still love one another. And still, it's like, I don't like anything that you like, but I like you.
Yeah.
You don't have to hate someone for their beliefs. And they had this in this family dynamic that was so cool because he was so straight-laced and young Republican and everything. And they were super flower kids and everything. And that was the dynamic that I thought made it most special.
Yeah. I still remember there was one episode where the dad was someone was upset about something, and he was talking about how, like, even Nixon we felt sympathy for. And then the wife just stares at him. And he's like, well, after the party, and then, basically it was just a really smart, well-written show. On top of that too.
Hippie parents raising a conservative Republican in the Reagan era
is great.
And so it's such a smart premise that they played on for the entire run of the series, but there was always respect. Regardless of who agreed with whose discussions or decisions, there was always respect.
Yeah.
And that's what
exactly.
brought the family
we don't have to hate you.
They got into arguments.
Sure.
And there was even a couple episodes where it looked like the family was going to break up and different things. But didn't matter.
But it came
family
through.
ties.
Came through. There you go. Yep, that's the premise. Okay, we've made it all the way to number 1. After this quick break, we're going to come back. We're going to have a few honorable mentions.
Yes.
But then we're going to talk about the number 1 show of 1986. Now, it's worth noting that these span the 86-87 season.
Yeah.
These are ratings for 86. But this show probably spanned more than just 86-87. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So you probably know what it is, but you'll find out in the next segment. Stick around. If you're a die-hard Gen X grown-up, you can pledge your support by clicking join on YouTube or by becoming a patron at genxgrownup.com/Patreon.
Monday, a list of secret informants is stolen. Can Scarecrow and Mrs. King get it back?
Say goodnight.
Then on
Kate and Allie.
Will Allie chicken out on the Dick Cavett Show? And meet the next queen of the Winter Carnival.
I'm Stephanie Vanderkellen, Ice Maiden.
I have to go along with you on that.
Then on Cagney and Lacey.
Family's what you didn't have time for.
After 30 years, Mary Beth's father wants back in her life.
What's it going to take for you to forgive him? He doesn't deserve it.
Monday.
This is CBS.
We are winding out the back end of this backtrack, all about the highest rated TV shows of 1986. We've gone 10 to 2. We're about to talk about number 1. But first, there are a few that slipped off the bottom that were 11, 12, 13. They didn't quite make it.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about some of those because it wasn't their bad television. They still got 20% of the nation watching. But, George, why don't you start us with one that has, a beloved actor in it.
Yeah, right. Well, we kind of did the moving on up joke earlier
Yeah, we did.
in the series. Well, he moved on up to a new series. Sherman Hemsley, Amen, on NBC, ranked number 13 on this list at 19.4. He played a controversial Southern preacher, let's say.
Let's put
right?
it that way,
Yeah, but it's Sherman Hemsley. What role did you expect him to play? It was a fun series. My mother, again, big fan of the series. We watched it together. I just really liked that it gave him another chance because I did grow up on watching the whole thing, the Jeffersons that he did, which was a spinoff of All in the Family, right? So I watched that like as a young person in the mid to late 70s, I guess. And when he got to Amen, I was like, are we going to see this guy? It was good.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I get why it's not in the top 10
because at that
of this
point, you're
list,
like, well,
but
he's
it
George
was fun.
Jefferson. Am I going to accept him in this other role or not?
Yeah.
And he had to show off his dancing moves.
Oh, yes, we did get some Sherman Hemsley dances. Yeah.
Yeah. Marcus in the audience said best dancer in television. He just said.
Yeah. I mean,
think of another one. Better.
I mean, they got a whole series called Dancing with the Stars, so I'm not going to go there. But still,
80s television.
86.
80s television. 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to our second honorable mention. So this would have been number 12, I guess, on our ranking had we gone that far down. This is CBS with a 19.5, just a tenth of a point above Amen. And it's one of my favorite and also driest comedians ever to grace the stage. Bob Newhart, in his follow-up to the Bob Newhart Show, just called Newhart.
Yeah. Well, his titling was so creative.
Very creative. Well,
it kind of fits, though.
Here's why.
Yeah.
He's the one that brings people to the audience.
Yeah.
Bob Newhart is the person. If you have a show with Bob Newhart and don't say he's in it, you're losing audience
My
members.
parents watched everything he did.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
This is when he goes and gets, is it New Hampshire or somewhere?
Yeah, like a little bed and breakfast.
A little bed and breakfast, a little hotel. Larry, Daryl, and Daryl, the guys.
This is my brother Daryl. This is my other
that
brother
was
Daryl.
So good. When I saw him in Blade Runner later, I was like, what the hell?
It was just him trying to, he and his wife try to stitch together this life out of this bed and breakfast, a very different role where he was a psychologist in the Bob Newhart Show, which I don't want to super spoil it, but I will say that they ultimately connect those shows together.
I know, that's what I was going to bring up.
By the end,
the last show.
Yeah. Which is kind of a disrespect to Newhart because it kind of makes this like
didn't matter.
It's like episode of that season of Dallas that didn't matter because Bobby woke up.
Yeah.
And it was all
Bobby woke up, yeah.
It's almost like the whole.
Well, no, his wife woke up. Bobby came out of the shower.
He came out of the shower.
Yeah.
That's right. His wife came out of the shower. But it's almost like that whole season was just the psychologist's dream, fever dream he had. But it was almost like a wink and nod at the audience. Like, you know who Bob Newhart is. Here's a joke. It's a show that stands on its own. And I think Newhart is one that I will go back and just randomly watch an episode.
I enjoyed Newhart more than the Bob Newhart show.
Really?
Yeah,
See,
I did.
both. Oh.
It just felt a little more wholesome and friendly to me than the Bob Newhart show did.
It's certainly, the Bob Newhart show is a very 70s mentality series where Newhart is a more 80s sitcom.
The Bob Newhart show felt a little more caustic to me. Like the humor was a little bit more antagonistic for me.
That's totally true. All right. Mo, what do you got? Our last honorable mention.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the next one is Dallas. CBS came in at 21.3.
Right. Oh, it did. That was not even on purpose. Yeah.
They now that show. I mean, it started in '78.
Yeah.
And it went to '91.
It was the nighttime soap opera model.
I think it started like there was Dynasty,
It started that
Dallas,
whole thing.
but it started the whole thing.
Yeah, there's another one, Court something or other, Falcon Crest.
Falcon Crest.
That was a Falcon Crest.
Yeah.
So, but this one, I mean, this was known for end of season cliffhangers.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. I remember
one in particular.
Yeah. Who shot JR?
Right.
That was the big thing.
T-shirts everywhere.
What a pain in the ass if your initials are JR.
Oh my God!
I just got to tell you.
Like who, John?
Yeah, everybody. Who shot you? Who shot you? I'm like, shut up! I don't watch that show. I'm 11.
I mean, the show's about. It kind of reminded me of like an earlier version of Secession. Remember that's the current show.
Oh yeah, the one British TV that
yeah.
became an American show too.
Yeah,
American
again, it's like this like mogul family. This is their oil family and all the intrigue.
I think this is the one that kind of started that whole genre.
Who's going to take over a little bit? But it was a nighttime soap opera. I mean, just straight up, it was just totally a nighttime soap opera.
Yeah.
And it was 1980 when they did the Who Shot JR thing, which I didn't care, but that's okay. A lot of people did.
A lot of people did.
And the whole dream sequence thing where suddenly, like, he comes out of the shower. That meant the whole previous season didn't happen, so it didn't matter. I mean, it was ridiculous.
I just kept waiting for him to say, "I'm the man from Atlantis."
Yeah. It was ridiculous.
Shows the webbing in his hands.
Right.
Yeah. It was ridiculous the way soap operas were ridiculous.
Oh, my goodness.
And some of the intrigue and stuff. But, again, I mean, obviously it had
so
something
many
going
people
forward.
were mad at that episode.
Oh, I know.
Oh, my God.
But
they took that thing so seriously.
But obviously it had appeal because it lasted a really long time.
And that would have been number 11 on our list had we gone that far. So.
Well, but you see, it was kind of winding down at this point a little bit.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. And that one, so again, just jump into the number one.
Okay.
On this one.
I want to do this.
Do it. Go for it,
because
George.
this one's going to have some
and
discussion.
And again, I think you probably watched this one more than any of us. You have
Probably fair.
You have often spoken of how fond you are of this series and how much you watched it. So
Yeah, and that's a hard pill to swallow considering today's climate.
Yeah.
So NBC, 34.9 Nielsen
By
rating.
far
Ridiculous.
the number one show.
I'm going to ask the audience, you guys got a clue what this might be? 1986 top rated show in the Nielsen ratings? There we go, the
Yep.
Cosby Show. Like it was no surprise, right? Cliff and Claire Huxtable.
Right. Nobody went, it was just instantly.
What do you think,
yeah.
right? Prime time, you mentioned Thursday night, right?
This is
what
the 8
anchored.
a.m. This is the
this
8 a.m. one.
anchored the whole
8
anything.
p.m. I mean, yeah.
Hey, if we want a series to be successful,
Put it
Thursday
on
night,
after
we put
Cosby.
it on after Cosby. Exactly, right? I mean, we know everything about the man right now, all the ins and outs and ups and downs and the bad stuff around Bill Cosby today.
I think we can
But
separate the art from the artist.
That's where I was going to
Yeah.
ask,
Right?
can we? Because a
Yeah.
lot of that was happening while this show was being made.
Yes.
I know, yeah.
Right?
Honestly, that's the part that kind of just pissed me off in a lot of ways because this show did so much for black audiences. And
Right,
for-
yes,
because it showed,
yeah.
like, it wasn't Good Times, it wasn't the Jefferson. It showed a successful two professional parents with kids going through normal kid stuff.
Yep.
You know,
I always feel uncomfortable talking about this because I don't feel like I have the right to speak to that part of it. But I understand where you're
you know,
at.
I mean, my dad loved the show.
Sure.
I watched it with my dad because, again, it was like the whole. And back then, also, Cosby was known back then as just like the clean comic.
He was the clean comic.
You know,
But
never
Bill
cursed.
Cosby himself
Yes.
was the predecessor. A lot of the jokes from that one special, Bill Cosby himself, became the jokes in the very first episode of the series.
Yeah.
So,
to your point, Mo, up until I don't want to say up until that point and overgeneralize, but often black actors were put in roles of, Nichelle Nichols would often say, I wanted to be on Star Trek so someone could see a black actress not being the maid.
Right.
In a positive
And then
light,
when you had black-led series, it was Sanford and Son running a junkyard. Or then it was the Jeffersons, they came out of the slums and they're moving on up because they got some success.
Right.
This was just a straight-on, it's almost like their color wasn't it was part of the stories, but they weren't a black family, they were a family. Like any other family. Coincidentally, that was their race, and that was something that I think resonated with, viewers of any race.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, look, just people. Can we just be people? That was great.
They did do the shows when they needed to prove a point, though. Which
Certainly, of course they did.
I
Of
was
course.
happy about that.
Right.
I will say, as fond as I was of the Cosby Show, I don't think they did those episodes as well as the Fresh Prince did later. The Fresh Prince had an episode where the two boys got arrested for stealing a car. I think that was one of the best examples of that type of show in television history. But the Cosby Show did some stuff that was even more controversial. I mean, don't forget, we get Lisa Bonet out of this series, who went on to do another series, A Different World, and then fell out of favor with Cosby because of Angel Heart the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And they pulled her from that show because Cosby told them.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
No.
So we have a lot of stuff.
We wouldn't want anything untoward going on.
No, good Lord, Cosby.
But they also be like Debbie Allen.
Who
produced the show, helped write the show, and she went on to do. And she was in Fame and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, she became like a force of doing quality TV shows and stuff like that. And the thing is that they dealt with like like I still remember one episode where the son talked about like because he was doing bad in school. And,
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
And the guy's like, yo, well, he's like, Dad, I just would be like a regular person, and everyone applauded. And Cosby's like, oh, you want to be a regular person, huh? And he gives him Monopoly money. So where are you going to live?
That's the joke from himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he winds up taking like all his money. He says, that's regular people.
Regular people.
I mean, he says, and that's something that applied to anybody.
Yeah. It was a good series. I think they played around with the actors and the characters enough that they were able to do different things. We did. I think they jumped the shark a little bit when they had to replace the young person. So eventually they had to replace Rudy with Raven-Symoné later on because they were trying to extend the series, and the actress playing Rudy was just a little too old for that role anymore. Yeah. I think they had hits or misses throughout the whole thing, but there's no question that it was successful long enough, and Cosby was a force in Hollywood for long enough to keep that show. What did it run, like 14 seasons or some craziness? It was a long time.
Yeah, it ran from 84 to 92.
What was the spinoff? A Different World?
A Different World? Yeah, A Different World. It was actually ran longer.
I really liked that series.
I did too.
Yeah. That was a good series. Yeah.
I think we talked about that as in our favorite theme tunes, maybe. Different World might have been on that list.
Maybe.
I remember we did talk about it.
We did discuss it at some point.
I have to look that up.
That's how I remember George always go, I love that series. I love that series.
Kadeem Hardison, that was a great series.
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, Marissa, I think,
really?
that was her first big breakout.
First season.
I want to say that my favorite actor out of the show, though, was Phylicia Rashad.
Oh, she was amazing in it.
Mm-hmm. She was, before I knew who Michelle Obama was, Phylicia Rashad was that person for me.
Yeah.
She was really just that stand-up, honest, I don't know how to describe that character, but I could have seen that character, not as the First Lady, but as the President. Mm-hmm. That just the respect and the gravitas that she played that role with, tremendous. When we get her later on in the Creed series, the Rocky spinoffs, I was like, holy hell, that's awesome.
Yeah. I think I most enjoyed Malcolm Jamal Warner. I think I would have been friends with that kid is what I was thinking, of all the people there. I mean, they were a very affluent family that I wouldn't have known, but of any of the characters in there, he would be the one that I think I would have liked to hang out with.
Malcolm Jamal Warner? I thought he died.
Oh, yes, he did.
Oh, did he?
He did, yeah.
Last year.
Yeah,
very recently.
Damn shame.
Bad.
He was drowned. Oh, my God. Horrible.
Yeah.
I don't want to end the note on that. Talk about something funny. Oh, here we go. The musical segments that they did a couple of seasons where the whole family would sing to the grandparents.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those were fun. Those were so fun. Baby! Oh, I love those things. They were so much fun.
Yeah. 34.9. You will not see a TV show ever again get a rating like that.
Really?
Yeah, well, there's so much now.
There's
so
much choice.
Yeah, it's so much choice now.
People struggle for 10s and 12s and 15s now.
Oh, wow.
Because what can you watch? Netflix,
I guess
Hulu,
the
streaming,
days of the three
Rewind,
networks is
TiVo.
over.
Yeah, we didn't have just 3 or 4 networks.
It's only like live sporting events or political events, things that matter in the real time that get any kind of ratings anymore.
Well, I remember at the time, though, the other networks at Thursday nights,
they would throw garbage against
reruns
because
they just could not
knew
compete.
better.
They just do crap.
They knew
out
better.
There.
Firefly.
Picking up scraps.
Yeah, Firefly.
Damn it.
Okay, we made it. We made it through the top 10 highest rated TV series of 1986. This was fun. Let's do it again for another year, maybe next year.
Well, I mean, fortunately, we have unlimited.
It keeps happening
because every year there's another year.
Yeah, you just have to survive.
Right?
That's all we have to do. Just hang in there. Good luck, everybody. Not always the easiest thing, but
we'll do it.
All right. Hey, before we wrap this up, I do want to thank a couple more brand new Patreon supporters.
Nice.
Who have headed over to patreon.com/GenXGrownUp. open up their hearts and wallets and set up a small recurring pledge.
I love how John has to put on his glasses while he's reading that.
Well, we're trying to stay alive.
Like I said, we just need to survive.
Small recurring pledge to ensure that I continue to have the reading glasses I need to read these names. Immerse 360, cool name,
like
and
that one.
John F.
That feels like a company just sponsored
Isn't
us.
it?
What
Yeah.
happened there?
Might be.
Hope it's more than $1.
It's a cool username. Could be
Yeah,
worse.
yeah.
At any rate, Immerse 360, John F., thank you so much for showing your support. You are joining a roster of fantastic human beings who also, like you, enjoy the work that we do here on the podcast, over on YouTube, in the article, the newsletter, everywhere. And you want to make sure we're able to stay solvent and keep doing it. And we could not without you. You literally pay the bills and make sure we keep the lights on here. Thank you for what you did. And by the way, at that $5 level or above, I always like to mention you get an ad-free feed of this show.
Yep.
So you don't have to hear all the commercials that are added in by our distributor. If you're a patron at that level or above, you don't have to listen to all that junk. You just listen to us ramble if that's what you like.
All that junk.
We appreciate you.
The other junk
all
you
that
can
junk that
listen to.
pays the bills. Yes. That's going to wrap it up for this Backtrack edition of the show. Don't worry, though. Mo, if you were worried, you shouldn't worry.
I was a little worried.
No, don't worry. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another one. Next week is a standard edition of the show. Until then, I am George. I'm George. Who am I?
Oh, my God.
Until then, I'm eager to say John. Wow. Until then,
He wants to be George.
I am John. George, thank you so much for being here.
Sure.
What's my name?
George, you know I appreciate you.
This is George, my other brother George. My other brother George.
Mo, you know I appreciate you, buddy.
Always fun, man.
Fourth listener, it is you we all appreciate most of all, though. We cannot wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Take care, everybody.
No life, no fun. Don't you know that you're a grown-up?
GenXGrownUp is a member of the Evergreen Podcast family. Learn more at evergreenpodcasts.com.
No more watching shows till sunrise. Unacceptable for grown-ups. Your dinner cannot just be French fries. Basically, life sucks as a grown-up.
Oh, let me quickly open up Moonlighting. And not Moonlighting,
Are we
Growing Pains.
actually going to say what the rating was, or do we not care?
It's
Yeah.
on there.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we're going to say, actually.
Yeah,
We'll
because
introduce, I think so.
Okay.
I'll explain, because I'm going to ask you, George, what you did,
Okay.
you know, and it didn't bring up the TV show as the first thing. It said growing pains usually associated with adolescence. Like, no. I'm looking for this TV show.